Hello guys, good day. On this one, basically, I just thought to record my analysis and upload it so you guys see how I go about my analysis basically. Okay, so basically this is a normal chart, and I think we're on a volatility 10 index chart. Good. So first thing I do is to look at the overall picture, and then the overall picture here just tells me we are currently on a downtrend. You get, yes, we see price pushing up, it's gonna really drop. So then the first thing I do is I've seen this information. I would basically go down to the lower time frame. So on the lower time frame here, it gives us this particular picture. Then now I switch to line graph. Now line graph is where I do all the basic analysis that gives me like a broader picture of what to expect on 1 hour time frame and possibly 30 minutes time frame, the lower time frames. Now I made an adjustment on this my tool basically, which I would explain what I did. So if you come down to settings, you see I simply just extended it to the right line. So if I should remove it, you see it's back. If I should add it, so that's the only new thing you guys may be seeing on my tool. So now first thing, I simply would just put my row here and then drop this guy here. Then I would simply mark the high, drop this guy here for instance. So now what I simply did here, what I tried to do in this particular point is trying to mark the wave. So I'm trying to understand that there was a wave pattern to the upside, and then there's also a break of trend line. So I didn't just want to mark the break of trend line, but then trying to mark the wave. You get. Now one thing I can easily see is we have a level of strong support here. Now we had such strong support here initially, and you can clearly see when price got to that previous strong support, which was around here, it really broke it. It broke it hard. So we should be expecting something of such here. Now, what are we going to be looking out for? For this one, we'll basically be looking out for our ceilings. I explained what ceilings are on the previous video, so you could go check it out and mark this level, this level. Now this level basically aligns with this level, so I just would round everything up to this area here. You get. Then yeah, this one is also a significant level. This is also a significant level. Then this last one. I know on smaller time frame, this was actually a level, but then let's take the major levels on 4 hours time frame, which we've gotten, and then one thing we can now do is I click on save chart because I like this to be saved. So one thing we can easily do then is switch back to normal chart. So when we switch back to normal chart, this is what you have, guys. Let me do this. So if we switch back to normal chart, you find out that this is the trend we marked, our trend line break. It broke here, and then all these levels are the levels. Now it's basically, when marking it using the line, it marks the body, not the wick. So it marks the whole body. So you have it here. These are the ceilings, basically, while climbing to the price broke while climbing to the upside. Now that having happened, price basically reacts to the ceilings while dropping. I told you there was one here. I did mark it on smaller time frame. I knew it's going to come out, and so this is one also. And you can see this ceiling basically what happened? Price broke to the downside. We expected it. Price broke to the downside. It respected the ceiling. So anytime you find a break, it just comes back to respect the ceiling and continues. Now this is the 4 hours time frame, and I'm not really interested in giving us the breakdown of what happened all the way. I'm focused on this market because I just want to quickly analyze what we should be anticipating on this guy, and we move on with other things. So on this one thing we can clearly see is we have the spotlight of this level as our next take profit, and this level as our psychological level, which is so you can see it here. So this level is a level of psychology. This is also a level of psychology. You understand? When I mean psychology, our ceiling, and it's just a price we would like to see market react upon. Now, going down to smaller time frame, there is something we want to see, which is we want to see price react to this level and this level. So now one thing I can easily see here is we have price already. We have a clean order block slit here. So we have a clean order block slit here, which it's just going to be ideal. Price gets into this order block, this zone, reacts from this point and pushes down. That's something we would like to see the market do. But then if price doesn't do that, we should clearly expect price to get into this zone, which is the next level you get. So we should clearly expect price to get into the next level, react from that next level, and then would take confirmations for price to drop to the downside. So this is basically the two buyers I have for this guy here, which is the Volatility 10 index. But now I know it's not going to be as clear as possible because I have to go down to the 1 hour time frame. Let's see the exact candlestick order block or zone we are looking out for this particular reaction. So okay, on this one it has this base which created this last drop, and loved it. So basically I would still say I would like to work with this. I would like to work with this 1 hour candlestick order block. Now basically I know for a fact I would like price to get into the zone properly and drop. Now that is for this one. When it gets there, we'll see how it reacts and we know what to do. For this one, for this particular level here, I feel it's going to be bridged because it's like liquidity sitting here, which this particular move might come to swipe. But then even if it doesn't swipe that liquidity, one thing we have clearly, this is a good order block here. There's another block also here which sits at this particular price point, and there's also a zone here. Now if you begin to look at all these zones, it's going to just confuse one. So since price is already here, let's watch how price reacts getting to this point, and then I'll show you guys where the magic would happen. So that is that. Now if one wants to catch the buy to the upside to this zone, one thing we simply do is we would simply mark the we'll simply go to the 1 hour time frame. We'll simply mark the floors. So this is a good floor. We'll simply mark the floors to the upside. We have this one, and we have this particular floor also. It's a good one. This is a good floor we have here, but then since this one is closer, I wouldn't mark that. Okay. So if we get to mark all the floors here, some may just get to be distracting. So I think these are the floors I'm going to mark. The ones which created major breaks. This was a major break. This one actually is a major break, but then this freaked it out. So basically I'll just mark this one. These are major breaks I can see with my eye clearly. So now I would look at how price will react to all these areas Now even when I go to the 30 minute, if I switch to the 30 minutes time frame, it would still be okay. So 30 minutes time frame just gives me an adjustment telling me okay, this line and this line, they actually are reacting almost together. We have this level and we have, so this one adjusts down to the bottom, making us have a double bottom at this price point. So basically, this being done here, what I would simply do, um, first of all, I would simply look for an entry here. Now the entry has already come and gone. Because we got a break of structure around this price point to this upside. Price closed above these zones here, came back down and respected the 30 minutes order block here. You understand? So it respected the 30 minutes order block here. When do you enter? You enter when a 30 minutes candlestick close. You get, and if you see what happened here, it has already closed here. You get, and then it has pumped to this particular level, which is the major take profit. This is just an extra holding you've been making. You get, and that is it. So the only thing now is to wait for another entry you get for a buy. But then from here, let's just see how price slashes into these up levels, the higher levels and everything. Situating this fast, it's a break of this fact is a double bottom, so we would expect this high to be cleared, and maybe that's when price taps into this place and does the wonder. So let's see how price does it. At this moment, we don't have any entry. Price already moved to where our presumed take profit would be. Any person who has entered here would only be looking to hold maybe all the way to this point. So basically, that is it. That is it for volatility 10. Now, how do you know what you should be anticipating for? Now, this is how you know when it's time for an entry, for a sell. So basically, this is the trend line we'll be drawing. This is how you'd know there's that it's time for a sell. Now, so I'll simply move it to the 1 hour time frame. You can come to 30 minutes, you can use 1 hour. So now, this is how we know that. Now we need to see a break of trend line. We need to see price breaking this trend line with a full close of candlestick below this trend line. Then we can initiate entry alongside with marking our ceilings. You get. Now I don't want to mark more ceilings on 30 minutes time frame. You can only mark maybe the one which this particular push up will generate. You get. Ceilings and floors are two different things. If you need more explanation on that, you can type it in the comment section. I will do that. I'll do it to make a better explanation video on that particular one. Now, okay. Now, in order to portray this break of trend line explanation, I'll give you an example of how break of trend line basically work all the way from this point down to this point. So let's go to the line graph. Now on the line graph, we can easily see we have this low which is here. We have this low, we have this point. So basically, this was a reason for one of my entries. You must have seen it on my status, a sell. So this was the reason I took the sell. That was one. Then we have this one. This is a reason for another sell too. Using break of trend line basically. Now this is where we have another reason for another sell, which is this one. Yeah, so basically it's from this point. Now only people who want to enter on time, like who wants to have early entry, will draw their trend line from this connection here. You get, and they'll get their trend, they'll get their break here, and then they will enter. Now let's see. So it's gonna be a break at the close of any candlestick. So your entry is at the close of any candlestick basically. You see there was no candlestick close here, so this one your entry. Take profit at the lowest point. Now let's see. So now we have one, this one basically from that low we mark this. So now this is the first entry you'll be having. You get, that's the first entry you'll be having. Now if you wanted to have entered from this area, basically catching the sell earlier, this is basically where your first entry would be, and then all these lows will be your take profit down to the final point. So this will be your first take profit, second take profit, and then this is final take profit. So basically upon the close of this candlestick here, which is this, upon the close of this candlestick you initiate your entry. Now for this particular kind of trade, you can either put a stop loss either at this high here, or then you put it at the overall high, depending on how, whichever one is okay for you. Now so this is for this trade, take profits here. That was the one, that trade really played out well. So let's see. Okay, there would have been an entry here, but this one, it was using extra formulas basically. Now this one, it's something, if I would say this particular entry is a trade we would have forced. It's not something that played out so nicely, because if you check it, this, you have to connect from this low to this one, but then this was a major one which helped this trend line break. So if you are taking this one, you see it didn't get here, it got here, but then once you see price at this point, it's cool enough, you know what to do. So this one, yes, we have the break here. So we have a break here, and we have another break here. So when you're using the line graph, basically the line graph helps you to, I would say, simplify your entry. So you see a clear entry here, first take profit, second take profit, third take profit. So if you had held to even this point, you didn't get to that one before reversing. So that was it. Okay, so if it's this one, let's see. This one is not actually a very good one, but then you can see, so if you had entered here, you see it will stop you out. You lose money on this particular trade, which is fine. Obviously no trade is 100%. Okay, so that's it. This one, basically connect this to this or this low, and you get a proper break, which is connect this to this point, and this was a proper break. Let's see what happened. Candlestick close, which is this one, put your stop loss above, and price really dropped nicely. So this trend line, basically you actually have to wait for an, I mean, you just have to be patient using the trend line strategy. But then I don't just use only trend line, I add other stuffs, basically using our ceilings, our floors, and all of these things. So you can see, so in confluence with trend line, you can see that we are basically just going to be waiting for price to give us a good confirmation of a break. We make our entry, and then we hold till price drops either to this point or to this point based on our overall view. So that is what we have for the volatility 10 index. Do have a wonderful day, guys. Peace. I don't want to record another market price on this same video. The video is already long enough.